Whoa. I was like 4 minutes late. We're making stir fry. Oh, and I still have the apron. It's fine. I'm going to leave it. I got to finish cooking after this anyway. I got to go grill the chicken. Oh, what's happening with you guys? You know what I'm saying? What's good? Again, just like last time, like I said, from now on, I'm going to run through the beginning, show you guys whatever the beat for the song they drop on Tuesday. And then I'll answer any and all questions or, whatever statements, anything you guys got to say afterwards. We'll just have a little conversation. If not, you know what I'm saying, we'll get on out of there. So first, we'll start with the song that we just did. Or that we just dropped Tuesday, which is Rain, Rain. Pull this up. We also successfully actually shot a music video this weekend. It was kind of stressful because it was super raining. Or not super raining, it was super rainy, but never actually rained. There was like really terrible clouds in the sky and stuff. But that overcast, actually, FYI for anybody shooting videos, really helps with, like, I don't know, to me, the best quality of video comes on overcast days because the sun hits the clouds and it's like a uniform stream of light coming down from the sky rather than just one beaming side and you have weird shadows and things like that. So I actually prefer that, but what comes with that is the risk of rain and things. Anyway, all right, here we go. I got it up. So what I started with this one was a sample, and it's all right. We're straight. I think we're straight now. Cool. Yeah. So anyway, this time around I didn't program the snares and like the percussion. I usually do. This is the only song I've ever done this on where I actually pulled from Splice, just see what it's like. I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't like mixing other people's stuff. It's hard and weird. But to do the bass, instead of like an 808 or actually, pulling up a bass or anything like that or Omnisphere, I actually just duplicated the sample itself, which if you guys couldn't hear that. That's pretty crazy. And that actually is a sample that I believe I slowed down from 108. It was 90, but I brought it down to like 60 something. To give it that really slow, like, weird vibe about it, which is why I liked it and I made it in the first place. And so anyway, I doubled that sample, and then I EQ'd. Let's see, what did I do? I cut off everything with the low pass all the way down to 125 hertz, and then I cut off below that like 32 hertz just so that I didn't have some overwhelming stuff because, like I said, I time stretched it, and so it can do a lot of weird distortion and stuff that you might not want in your mix. So anyway, yeah, so together, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that bass, I'll turn it off so you can hear the bass. So it just kind of like, it's not super clean or anything, but it goes with the song. It's part of the song already. It's basically if you were able to turn the gain up on just the low end. That's essentially what I did. I wanted to accent what was already there. And then, so like I said, I didn't program these percussion. I didn't type them in this time around. So I pulled from Splice a little thing, little drum pattern and stuff. And what I did was I did separate into three parts. First is the full beat, so it comes like. I just had to kind of trust that they were going to put it in space where it should be. They probably, the way I like to mix it, I like to kind of spread things out, make more space for the vocal. So that's why I also went with a more ambient choice in lyrics as well. But anyway, but there's certain portions where it makes arrangement difficult, which is why I'll never fucking ever do this again. So there was portions like where I would like to take the snares out or the hi-hats or just the kick or whatever it was. So I basically I just use like a high pass or a low pass. So in this instance, I did a high pass. So I cut out everything all the way up to 1200 hertz and stuff, and did some other stuff because it was a little too much. anyway, and compressed it a little bit, and so I got this for certain portions. So I was able to just have that with no kick, you know what I mean? The kick's a little remnants in there of the kick, but in context, you can't really hear it. Then the whole thing comes back together, so it's like seamless, but you have to get the levels right. And then I did that same kind of thing with just the kick, because a lot of times my arrangement, I like to have like kicks and bass just by itself. It gives like a nice little vibe. So the next time that the bass that I was telling you guys about earlier, where I did that duplication, then the low pass all the way, or low pass all the way down to 125. There's a portion where I do the same thing with the like I said, the beat itself, but I'll do a low pass and I cut that all the way down to 830, but I also did some other EQ stuff to take out some stuff at the 600, 700 range that I didn't like. Who knows why? Like I said, distortion happens and stuff when you try to do weird things. And then again, like I didn't want it to, when you cut certain things out, it kind of brings up more of the other pass. So in the low pass, you cut the rest of it and it kind of accentuates in a way that lower part. So I cut out 26 below. Really, you don't hear that anyway. You feel it. And I already had so much bass in the song. So you end up hearing some like, yeah. Still kind of hear that, the clicks from the hi-hats and the snare. But in context, again, you can't really hear it. And it's kind of nice, too. It's kind of like a metronome, so with the bass. And so anyway, at that point, I put it all together in context. See, you can't hear that other remnant stuff. So sometimes you just can't fucking think too much. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just think way too much about it. When it comes to like making a beat. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And then that really was all it was. I don't think there's anything. Oh, that's right. The only other thing was there was some rain stuff where I had it like high at the beginning, and then as the beat came in, I lowered the level of that just to keep it real low. You don't want noise in your mix. So honestly, I should have just completely turned it off. But I don't know. There was something about it. I was already kind of dedicated to it, so I pulled it down really, really low to some like barely audible level, and you can hear that right here. And I start bringing it down, and right here, and so I leave it this low pretty much the rest of the time. And in context. So it kind of gives that little like underlying, I don't know, like as if you're listening to a song or whatever, but it's raining outside. And that's kind of what I wanted it to be. That was the whole kind of point. Rain is the fucking title of the song. So yeah, that was it, man. You know, I know darkness must be felt. Yeah. Yep, and that's pretty much it. That's what I did there. Okay, cool. Let's see. We had some cover. This song had cool vibes. Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, it was actually a rainy day for me. So when I started making the beat, or when I made the beat, I actually did it without rain, like without the sample of the rain. It was actually raining, and then the day I went to go record over it, I was like, yo, this doesn't sound like what I made. What the fuck? What happened? So I was like, it has to be that rain stuff. I had already titled it Rain. I hadn't written to it. I already knew what it was going to be about, like, that it was going to have that kind of title and stuff. So that's when I went and found a sample of some rain or something and found a good one that I liked that was best simulated what I was hearing that day, and then I put it in there. That's why it's there. But yeah, so anyway, it says wow and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's everything, man. If anybody has anything to say it now, you know what I mean? We can go ahead. I'll answer anybody's questions at this point. While you guys think of anything or not, I'm going to take a sip. And by the way, I like almost exclusively, if it's not wine, it's brown and sweet tea. So, but we ran out of sweet tea. So I had to use some Dr. Pepper, which is actually really terrible. It's not terrible, but I don't really like it. Not compared to sweet tea. It tastes better. And I'm not a big soda drinker. I don't drink soda ever. It's always just water all day. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, you get it at the end, but it happens sometimes. What kind of red do I sip? So there's this thing, like, it's pretty cheap, but at Walmart I found it because I was like, man, I gotta start learning my wines. You know what I mean? So white wines just they make your breath smell like baby ass after a while, or baby throw up. You know what I mean? So I went with red. Red feels better. I don't like sweet stuff, so I found one. It's called Apothec Dark. It's like $10. At least in Louisiana it is. And it's like got coffee and dark chocolate undertones, and I love both of those things. So I tried it and actually ended up really well. Most of the time, you don't get to just read the flavors and hope that it's actually good, but it's really hard. It's my favorite stuff. But we had gotten some smooth stuff from Arkansas when I went a trip up there for my fiance's birthday. I don't know what it's called, but they're like winery up there, makes really really high end stuff, and I think it was like aged in bourbon barrels and stuff like that. It was hard, and I already like brown. Everybody should know that by now. You know what I mean? But yeah, all the other stuff, I'm real picky though. All the other stuff by Apothec, even, like, I don't know. I don't like the flavor of alcohol, personally. I just like, you know what I'm saying? I like with every alcohol that there is, there's like a flavor to it. And then there's the alcohol, like the ethanol. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like the ethanol flavor. I like the alcohol flavor, and then I'll mix it with usually sweet tea or by itself. I don't really like to mix it with anything else. So anyway, yeah. By the way, I just got finished with some stir fry. That's why I'm wearing this, and I was gonna take it off, but I was like, you know what? This'll. I don't know. I was like, let me just keep it. Anyway. If there's a Costco near you, all Kirkland wine is 10 out of 10. They're all very cheap. There is a Costco. Actually, I shop there every weekend. That's what I did today. So just to give you guys like what happens on a Sunday for me is like we wake up, we plan our day, like, I know I have X amount of time to make beats and edit the website or whatever the hell I got to do. And then by that time I get to plan what time I'm going to do the live, which today was like at 7. And then part of that plan for the day is we go to Costco and Super One and go shopping and stuff. We're real frugal with our money, We like to eat fresh, so we'll cook everything. We cook 2 meals, enough for like 20 meals or something for us to eat throughout the week, because we only eat twice a day. And then so we go and we do that every weekend, and one of the places we go is Costco. So I have to go check out their wines, evidently. What I like to do in situations like that is I'll go find the thing that I'm used to, and then whatever's like immediately to the right or left of that, I'll give that a fucking try, you know what I mean? But yeah. Anything else? Anybody got anything else? People be popping in here and out of here. It's like super quick. But it's better than nothing, you feel me? I'm currently trying to figure out a way to make my shit louder without like ruining everything. You know what I'm saying? Which my stuff is like already at a competitive level, but something I've been thinking about is when you in the mastering phase at the end, when you want to, ultra maximize whatever, and you make your songs extremely loud, what happens is that you're putting a brick wall, and so everything that would be above a certain like dB or decibel or whatever, meeting that threshold gets kind of chopped off, and because of that, it makes the audio more of a brick, and you can actually visually see that. But what I've been kind of thinking of, like how I've been visualizing it, because of course I'm not a fan of that. I like to keep my dynamics and stuff. And I'm already getting it to where I need to be. I mean, all the platforms are turning down my songs as it is. But what I'm starting to notice is it's kind of like a crop. Like when you crop a picture. Like you have the picture. It's you and a person, and then some background, some scenery in your hands, and some weird shit that shouldn't be there. And so you go and you crop it out, and you get like a real condensed, like only the really important stuff that looks good and that you want to be in the picture. And that's kind of how I've been visualizing like mastering. It's like you're doing that, and because of that you get a more solid, like you hear everything kind of deal. And that's kind of what I've been kind of fucking with and stuff. So anyway, alright, what kind of mic do I use? I use the Baby Bottle Blue, or the Blue is the brand, baby bottle is what I use. And I think there's 3 of them that look the same. There's like the Bluebird, and then the Spark, and then the baby bottle. And they all look like a baby bottle with a little rattle and stuff on top. But yeah, it goes hard. It sounds really good. But the main thing I think is that's just a good quality mic. It's very neutral. It doesn't have a lot of its own like sounds and stuff from free, because I do a lot of like weird screaming shit, you know. But I have like I don't know what it's technically called. Whatever. It's an Avalon VT737SP. It's a really nice preamp. It was like $2,500. It's the biggest investment I have aside from the computer itself. Everything else is like budget, but the computer and the preamp were the most important parts. It's tube saturated and it sounds super nice, but at the end of the day, it's what just gives, for me at least, it gives me peace of mind. Like at the end of the day, your equipment's only as good as you. You know what I mean? Because there was half a year that I had it and I wasn't even fucking using it because I didn't know that I like how to use it, and so it was like pointless that I had it. It was just using my energy and making my light bill go up. You know what I mean? So man, I'm missing some stuff here. Levels are pretty good. Appreciate that. Anytime I listen to your songs in the car, I love the mastering levels you can achieve. Oh well, I appreciate that, because every time I listen to a car, I always feel like it can be better. But I'm always constantly comparing to other artists where I like the mix. And I do that because I want to keep improving. I don't want to just settle one spot. But usually I don't feel that way, that my mixes are really good. Oh, my bad. I need to find a better way to do this. I'm putting my fucking fingers all up in the... I use that one too, but I'm thinking of switching to a Shure SM7B. Is that the one that like the one that a lot of people for podcasting use? It's like a black cone, but like as if the tip of the cone was chopped off, kind of looking. That one sounds good. It sounds good on speaking voices, and from what I understand, I've seen a couple people use it for recording. I was thinking about getting that thing too. And Shure is a solid fucking brand. Yeah, try it. I mean, I think it gets a good, but I don't know how much of that's the mic and how much of it's like the compressor, or you know what I mean? How much of it's the actual, like the preamp or whatever they might be using the software to produce like live and stuff. But I do think that it makes a really, really nice sound. It does a really good job, I'm assuming, of just like taking the vocals. One thing also, I don't know if you guys heard about this nonsense, but what is it? NVIDIA, maybe? There's like a gaming company or whatever that makes graphic cards for gaming computers. I think it's NVIDIA. And they have like this new thing where I guess it's to declutter the all the noise that goes on when they're playing video games and stuff. But it takes out everything that's not the human voice. And like there was like videos of this dude who's like hammering on the table and holding a fan towards the mic and speaking into it, and the only thing you hear is his voice. And then he disengaged it and it's like, you know, sounds like sound purgatory. It's crazy as hell. I can't believe that they have that fucking that kind of thing. I wish they would, you know what I mean, like put it out in a plugin or something, which I'm sure it would. I think the whole thing is that it takes the processing power of a gaming computer to even run something like that, and specifically that kind of graphics card, I think. Yeah. So, but anyway, I was mind blown when I saw that, and then I did research because of course I wanted it, but yeah, whatever. I actually just recently recorded a song last week, and one of the lines was like, all my takes get ruined from my racist neighbors and stuff, and like, while I was recording it, like I got some PVC pipes and some U-Haul blankets and stuff in this bitch. Like it's nothing crazy. And like, so when people drive by, and in South Louisiana, people love their loud fucking mufflers and their bass. And so they're just driving by and like destroying the takes that I was doing when I was saying those lines too. It was hilarious. But something like that would be really, really nice. So but how did I learn to use it? Use what? Oh, the Avalon? So there came with a user manual. And so this is probably one time in my entire life that I've actually read the user manual for anything. So And even then I still didn't really understand it, because it's like the user manuals for everybody, not just people who make music. It's for podcasters, it's for radio shows and things like that, for like live production as well. So how I actually learned to use it was the same way I learned to use this. In fact, I already knew how to use it, because the only stuff that's on here is there's a side chain thing that you can use in terms of creating a de-esser, but like the more that you use these stuff on here, the more you end up needing to like compensate. So it's like the more you use it, the more you need to use it. You know, understand what I'm saying? So there's like an EQ on here built in, which has a really nice tone to it actually. There's obviously the gain and stuff like that, but the most important things that you'll see is like is the high gain, the compressor, and of course you have a little area where you can monitor the compressor, and then like the built-in EQ. I don't use the EQ, not anymore. Trial and error essentially is the answer, right? But I don't use the built-in EQ anymore. I slightly use the compressor. I might even start using a little bit more, but if you use it too much, it'll just block your stuff, and it sounds really bad going in. So I just use it to tame it just a little bit. So if I ever do like something a little bit, I don't know, a little dumb, little plosives and stuff are a little bit better, kind of evens it out. So it's like levels to my compressions before I even get here. You know what I mean? And that's really it. But the there's ways to mix in and out the tube saturation of the actual things, where what you want from this. And that's really, cause like that's the color and things like that you want from like warm, smooth sounds. If you're into that, I personally am. That's what I like for all my music. And if I want to change it, I'll do it here. But yeah, so I basically went in here and was like, all right, what are these things? You know, this is a compressor. I know how the compressor works. I know what it does. And so I did what I wanted it to do before I got it here, in terms of I just like listened to what a vocal sounds like with and without it, and started realizing, okay, what I need this compressor to do is this. This is what it sounds like. And then I just adjusted the little knobs till I got it. I just sat there with my, you know, in terms of the tube saturation and the high stuff. I basically just kind of twisted the knobs until I got it to sound like what I wanted it to sound like, because that's not something you're used to. It's not like level, like gain stage. It kind of is like gain stage is part of it, but like the actual figuring out what part sounds good, it's more like mixing, like turning something like making more and less wet of a thing. That's literally what it is. Like if you put a bus chain, like a side chain or something, you put on a bus or on an auxiliary, whatever you want to call it, a saturation for your vocal or something. And then you made it more or less wet. That's essentially what I had to do here, because that's what it is. Except in the real world, physically. Like, we're so spoiled to things all being here that whenever we get a real piece of equipment, we forget, like, we know what we're already doing. So, yeah, that's kind of what it was. It's trial and error, but until I figured, like, eventually was like, hold up, dude, you're tripping, you know, just think a little bit and apply your knowledge. And that's all it was. I was able to figure it out in 20 minutes once I did that. So... although it was scary at first, and it was, but what's more scary is having an expensive piece of equipment that you're not utilizing to its full potential the way that it needs to be, which is the reason you bought it, right? Oh, boom, yeah. So, what we got going on is so I've decided that these perspectives, I'm going to keep doing them, but they're not like super prioritized for me. So like if things in my personal life get a little more hectic and stuff, to me, number one priority is making songs and music videos and making sure they're getting out on time and things like that. So those are going to kind of be sporadic, and when they come out, there's going to be all of them like at once. So like if I drop one for this next song, it's gonna be with all the other ones that I haven't posted yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, on top of that though, I have a song. It's called How It's Going. And like I said last time, I really think this is the song that starts like the turn the corner. Like the songs up until now, even though some of them were good or really good, I guess in my opinion, I felt like this one was the song that shows me turning the corner, and then it's like there's a higher level of standard between all my songs from that point forward. So I'm really excited about that. It comes with the music video, and the link in my bio right now is where you can go pre-save that, because that helps a lot. So I even said that in the last one. I was gonna see what pre-saving does, so I experimented with that all last month. I can tell you what it does now is that it helps give Spotify a really good idea of where to put it in, because they have like a vector space. I'm not going to try to explain it. I don't really know how to explain it. But it essentially gives it a good like sample size before it even is released of types of people who like your music or types of people who are your fan, and then puts that in front of those kinds of people. So pre-saving does help, and I'm going to start doing that before every song that's got a music video coming out. But yeah, so everything's like about to take another step up, and I'm really excited about that because I definitely started doing a little bit more with bass and 808s and stuff starting in this song, and I'm really proud of myself for that. For these first like 9 songs now, I don't know, I've been kind of like cringing and stuff every time I hear them go out because the mixes could be better and yada yada yada, you know the fucking deal. So right, I agree with you. I'm excited as fuck. Me too. That's how I felt with Anxiety. That was the Turn of the Corner song for me as a fan. No, you know, I kind of slept on Anxiety. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you know, another song I slept on was I Care. That the mix in that song was actually fire. It was really good. I was tripping. Like it was a solid song. You know what I mean? I guess I just didn't like it at the time, but you know how that goes. That's part of the creative process. But as long as you can know that about yourself and about the process, that later on down the line, these are things you don't like find out unless you do something like this, right? Because I know I have songs coming out now that are far removed from when I made them and different from what I'm doing now, I'm able to look back and say, okay, so in the like when I made it, it was good, and then as I got better, it was trash. And then now that I'm so far removed, I can actually really appreciate it because I can start to see it as somebody who hasn't heard it in a long time or has ever heard it, which is you guys, right? And you guys don't know how good I am now because of, you know, the whole discrepancy in time of when I made it. But yeah, no, it goes hard, man. It goes hard. And Anxiety was definitely, I slept on that a little too much. I should have pushed that a little bit harder, but like I said, you know, but again, you know, notes taken, because now in the future I'm going to make sure that even if I'm sleeping on it, that I don't continue to. I got to put it out and I got to push it hard because it might just be fire and I'm tripping. Because sometimes some songs, like I Care wasn't one of them. Anxiety was one of them. I thought it was fire when I put it out. I mean, I thought it was trash when I put it out. And then after I saw the reaction, I gave it an honest listen and then was like, oh shit, this is actually good. This is this is really hard. I don't know. It's crazy. It takes a long time to get to that point of being far removed. I'm stuck on the cringe phase. Yeah, man. And you're always going to be, like, because of that. I'm in the cringe phase for about 15 of my songs. I'm out of the cringe phase for about 11 of them that are coming out for you guys now. And then the ones I'm making now, like the one I just finished up on Friday, I'm burnt out on it. And I'm going to enter the cringe phase. It's like a non-stop cycle, and you just have to accept it. You know what I mean? You just have to accept it and not worry about it. But yeah. So anyway, I hope all that was super helpful, because what I've been doing, you know, obviously is giving you guys as much information as possible as I'm doing it. Right, like the Spotify stuff. I mean, this is stuff you can kind of find out anyway by doing research, but to have somebody kind of tell you guys, like, 2 months ago, I was at 0 monthly listeners, and now I'm at 7, right? So we can kind of see that the pre-saves worked, and now I'm telling you why I believe they worked, because looking at the data in my Spotify for artists and things like that, hopefully that helped out a lot of people, and hopefully, like, if you're just a fan and you don't make music yourself, hopefully you can kind of be like, I did no idea there was a particular way that Spotify helped creators go up and stuff. But it doesn't, like, I mean, it does, right? But that doesn't happen unless you guys, like, step in and, you know, do your part. Or I say you do your part, but if you really like it, then, you know, saving it to playlists and things like that, it's like super, super helpful and stuff, which I'm just learning. So but yeah, so next song coming out, How It's Going, Tuesday at midnight, comes with a music video. I edited that one myself. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's pretty cool. The song itself is fucking hard. And yeah, so we're just going to push, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it going. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for interacting and things like that. I'm going to see y'all next week. You feel me? Much love.